Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for coming back, tuning in, checking out the channel. Gonna talk about the mod I put on probably about 2-3 months ago. Just been pretty late to getting the video up. I've been talking about how I was gonna put it on for a while now, and that's the 392 Manifold. I was able to get it on. Nothing out of the ordinary that you can't find on the internet to help you out and get you through it. I'll talk about the price. I think all said and done, paid $14.30, I want to say, for the modification. About $5.50 for the manifold. Got that off eBay. $2.75 for a port job on it. Peak Speed Shop in right outside Denver did that for me. Let's see, MSD, got that off Amazon for about $1.30. The Boss kit, I got it for about $80 off Amazon. And then the active valve runner sensor, I got that off Amazon as well for about $45. I shopped around, those are the best prices I found. I don't know if those are still the same prices now, but and then also had to switch out my cold air intake. I had a K&N, but I had to switch out and I went with a JLT. Pretty nice cold air intake. If you got a I guess a 392 Durango or Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, I highly recommend it. It looks good, so that's the one I went with on here. I was able to sell the manifold, so it bumped me down to, I'd say, probably almost right at $1,100, a little over $1,100. Trying to sell the K&N, so if I can sell the K&N, the whole modification will cost me less than $1,000. So pretty good, because for performance, I think I gained some good mid-range torque. Horsepower, I don't know, maybe not a whole bunch. Like this is butt dyno. I haven't put this thing on a dyno, and even if I did, I think the last time I dynoed it, I was in Georgia. Now I'm out in Colorado. So big difference in altitude and DA. So we're not gonna you won't see the same results. But through the mid-range, man, you can feel it. Probably about 2,500 to whenever that short runner kicks in. Definitely feel the torque gain, and I'd say up top it moves a little bit better. So I'd probably say maybe 10 horsepower, maybe if that. But the torque, I'd probably say we're probably sitting somewhere around 20-25 for sure. If I had to put a number on it. Enough talking. Let's check it out. We'll walk through it. So 392 manifold, JLT, cold air intake, MSD, Cricket. All right, the Boss, Circuit Boss. So we'll walk through. We'll start with the cold air intake, and then we'll work our way top to bottom. So you see, for the most part, you see the cold air intake. It is what it is. JLT, like I said, they do a real good job with this heat shield right here. Basically comes all the way up to the radiator, and I'll take you down back over here. It comes all the way snug up to the uniframe right here. So it really does a good job at blocking out the heat. With 392 manifold, you see it is what it is. The biggest things you have to do to get your old 5.7 off is your intake manifold bolts. You'll see those about right there. There's gonna be 5 of those on each side. All right, you got your fuel line right here, and that's and you got to unplug your injectors. Other than that, that's all you have to do. When you take off this fuel line right here, make sure you have a rag ready. I don't mean rag, I mean towel, because you're gonna have fuel spray, because the system is pressurized. All right, and then you'll have to, of course, prevent all that fuel from going everywhere and splashing everywhere. As far as putting the 392 on, so I'll start out with the fuel rail. All right, if you notice the fuel rail, the actual fuel line inlet over here to the fuel rail is on the right side. When I started out, it was on the left side. Super easy. Swap it over, no big deal. All right. Additionally, I had you'll see, where's it at here? Okay, my heater block. So if you have a heater block, it's going to come literally right down here on the center of the manifold. I just rerouted it. Took it right here. You can see where I rerouted it, and then stashed it back there. So no real need for a heater block. This thing's in the garage for the most part anyway. Moving on to the actual wiring that you're gonna have to do. Okay, there's gonna be some pictures posted up and stuff like that, so you'll be able to see this. So right here here's the map sensor, all right? And you'll notice you can see the colors, wires and stuff in there. Usually on the 5.7, it's about right here, all right? And it's short. You're probably about, you know, I'd say 4 or 5 inches short on wire. So I had to cut it somewhere about like right here. And then when I cut it right here, basically just extended it using the wires from the Boss kit. No big deal. They're color coded, it's color matched, super easy, all right? For the actual sensor, I guess the active valve sensor, let's see if I can get it off. It's kind of back here a little bit. There it is. Okay, so here's the active valve sensor, right, or the active valve runner sensor. So basically, you have 4 wires. Only 3 of them are used. You'll see another, if you follow another video, his name's I think T Mopar. He has a pretty good video of wiring all this stuff up. And like I said, that'll just snap into the back right here where the sensor goes. All right, so your active valve runner sensor wiring will come out from here. Your Cricket Boss, this is probably about the only good spot I found to mount that. All right, so right here, everything runs in a conjunction from the Cricket Boss, MSD, and the active valve sensor, and you know, all the wiring stuff, and made it look sexy as I possibly could. For the most part, I'm happy with how it turned out. The one thing with the nothing real tricky with the Cricket. I mean, it's, you know, straightforward. I'm gonna put up a forum in the description. Check it out. It'll tell you exactly how to wire this thing up, no doubt too. So back here, this is where I spliced into the injector. Okay, and you'll see that right there. I'll turn it on the MSD. You'll see everything, how that works and how it's gonna get a reading. Don't worry about this gray wire right here. That's a wideband O2 sensor. I went with the 6.4 injectors in the intake manifold, so I had to get a wideband to be able to dial it in, dial the AFR in. So here's the MSD. With MSD, how I did, I ran all the cables underneath the factory fuse box. Try to give it as clean look as possible. And you'll notice it pops out on this side over here. Okay, so as far as power, okay, so don't worry about the, I think it's the pink one, I don't know, it's one of these wires. Don't worry about one of those wires. It's for my wideband. I think it's the red one. So the red one's I think for the wideband. So you'll notice there's going to be a little hole right here. See where they come up? This little hole right here in your fuse box. Just slip the wire up to there, and then get a connector. And I think I fused into, I want to say, the fuel pump or the cigarette lighter, one of those two. It's like F70 or so. And just check out your little, you know, display right here. It'll tell you which one it is. And that's basically about it for that. For the Cricket power, you'll see the fuses right here. It's pretty simple. It's self-explanatory. One side says fuse, one side says battery, so you can't really jack that up. So, and you'll notice the fuse power for the Cricket comes in right here, and it's connected right there. So that's super easy, and that's super that. Let's go ahead and fire it up, and I'll talk you guys through that. All right, guys. So you'll notice on MSD display 0.1. That's because I'm reading it right at 1,000 RPMs. All right. So how you do this on the MSD? You hit mode. Be firm with the button. It's kind of hard. So right there, that is when it's going to turn on. Is at 0.46. So that's going to turn on at 4,600. Is when it's going to transfer from the long to short runner. All right. All right, and it's going to turn off at 8,000 RPMs. This thing doesn't go up to 8,000 RPMs anyway. It goes up to about 6,200 or so with stock springs. Well, probably about 6,100 with the stock springs. All right, and then, as I stated before, this right here is your on cylinder, so it's going to be cylinder 8 that it's actually getting a reading from on the MSD. And if you look at an engine diagram for the Hemi, you'll notice the rear passenger is the 8th cylinder. Okay. Once again, you just splice into that, power it up, and that's how it's getting all of the readings on the MSD. You'll notice it's at 0 now. That's because I'm running at probably about 700 RPMs, and it's not going to read it. If you want to, once you change this, or I'm sorry, once you set this, don't worry about losing power to it. turning it off, etc. As long as it's connected to power in some way, shape, or form, it's gonna have a memory recall of the settings that you put in, and you're gonna be good to go. So it's all pretty straightforward. Like I said, there's 2 forums. One is a Challenger forum that I got the diagrams from, no big deal, and it's super easy to tell me how to wire it up. Another forum is the one that I did to help with some, some talking points, just to make it a little easier on the extending of the map fuel sensor and the throttle body and stuff like that, because you cut the factory wires and you're like, oh my god, but nothing to worry about, they're all color coded, no big deal. And then another is a link of YouTube to, like I said, his name is Team Opar, and he did a video on how to mock all this up and wiring and stuff like that. He did a pretty good job. Definitely check it out. Check out all 3 before you do this mod. One thing I didn't do that I highly recommend is come out here, mock it all up before you start doing any cutting or anything like that. You're going to save yourself a little bit of time. So things I needed was some 18 gauge wire, some butt connectors, heat gun to melt the butt connectors, and electrical tape. That was it. So that's all you really need for this modification. Super easy, and hope this helps. Catch you later.